Hello, how is everyone today? Hopefully you remember me. My name is Mrs. Rumsey. I've been thinking about you this week, especially as it's Easter week and I've been missing everybody. And I remembered this wonderful book that I had that is a special Easter book. It's about the Easter Bunny. And this book is really old. It's called The Country Bunny and the Little Gold Shoes. And this book is a book that my mom used to read to me when I was little, and so it's always been one of my favorites, and so I thought today I would share it with you. I'm going to read the story in two parts because it's kind of a longer book, so I'll stop after the first half and then I'll make a second video for the second half of the story. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Here we go. The Country Bunny and the Little Gold Shoes. We hear of the Easter Bunny who comes each Easter day before sunrise to bring eggs for boys and girls, so we think there is only one. But this is not so. There are really 5 Easter bunnies, and they must be the 5 kindest and swiftest and wisest bunnies in the whole wide world, because between sunset on Easter Eve and dawn on Easter morning, they do more work than most rabbits do in a whole year. Here's a picture of the 5 Easter bunnies. I always thought that there was just one, but this seems to make sense. When one of the Easter bunnies grows old and can no longer run fast, the old, wise, and kind grandfather bunny who lives at the Palace of Easter Eggs calls the bunnies together from the whole world to select the very best one to take that place. Often a mother bunny says to her child, "Now, if you learn to be wise and kind and swift, one day you may grow up to be one of the 5 Easter bunnies." And all the babies try their very best so they can grow up and work for the grandfather bunny at the Palace of Easter Eggs. One day, a little country girl bunny with a brown fur and a little cotton ball of a tail said, "Someday I shall grow up to be an Easter bunny. You wait and see." Then all the big white bunnies who lived in fine houses, and the jackrabbits with their long legs who can run so fast, they laughed at little Cottontail and told her to go back to the country and eat a carrot. But she said, "You wait and see." You see the big Easter bunnies there? They're so much taller, the jackrabbit bunnies with their long legs. And even though you can see why they might be faster, it still wasn't very nice to make fun of that little bunny. The little girl Cottontail grew up to be a young lady Cottontail, and by she had a husband, and then one day, much to her surprise, there were 21 Cottontail babies to take care of. My goodness, I can't imagine having 21 babies, can you? Then the big white rabbits and the jacks with long legs laughed and laughed, and they said, "What did we tell you? Only a country rabbit would go and have all those babies. Now take care of them and leave Easter eggs to great big men bunnies like us." And they went away, liking themselves very much. Cottontail stopped thinking about hopping over the world with lovely eggs for little girls and boys, and she took care of her babies. And one day, when her children stopped being babies and were little girl and boy bunnies, she called them to her and she said, "Now we are going to have some fun." And you can see here is the mother Cottontail. Look at all those babies in the bassinet. Not enough room for all of them. Then, to 2 of the little bunnies, little Cottontail gave little brooms and showed them how to sweep out the cottage. 2 more she taught how to make the beds. 2 others went with her to the kitchen, and in no time at all, they had found out how to cook a good dinner. And with these went 2 little dishwashers, and they made the glasses shine like crystal. 2 had little wash tubs full of soap suds, and they washed all the linen. 2 more did the sewing and mending. And you can see all those little bunnies helping out their moms and dads. Actually, I think it's just their little mom there. 2 who had sweet voices were taught to sing, and 2 more to dance. and these amused all the others while they worked so that they were gay and happy. 2 others were soon digging in the garden. To 2 she gave paints and crayons so they could make pretty pictures for the walls. And when Mother Cottontail had given out all the tasks, she looked around and there was only one little bunny left, and he was sad and lonely. Then Mother Cottontail said to him, "You are the most polite of all my children, so I shall make you keeper of my chair. And whenever I come to dinner, you shall seat me politely at table." And here's the little dancing bunnies and the gardener bunnies. And there's the little bunny that's helping Mother with his chair. Then one day, when all the little rabbits were half grown up, Mother Bunny heard a great talk among the woods rabbits. And when she had asked what it was about, they said, "Haven't you heard? One of the 5 Easter bunnies has grown too slow, and we are all going to the Palace of Easter Eggs to see old grandfather pick out a new one to take his place." So she called her little cottontails, and they all set off to the palace to see the fun. But their mother was sad because she thought that now she was nothing but an old Mother Bunny and could only look on, and that a big, handsome white rabbit or long-legged Jack would be chosen. When they came to the Palace of Easter Eggs, there were bunnies everywhere on that great lawn, and the ones that hoped to be the Easter bunnies stood together, and all the others looked at them and clapped their paws. Then the big front door opened, and old, wise, and kind grandfather came hopping slowly out, and he told the biggest and those with the longest legs to show what they could do. They jumped and ran and showed him their pretty white fur, and they were all very fast and very clever. You can see the old grandfather bunny, and can you see all the other bunnies gathered out on the lawn there? See those fast ones in the front showing off? But still, grandfather did not pick one, and he said to them, "You are pretty and you are fast, but you have not shown me that you are either kind or wise." Then his kind old eyes looked everywhere, and at last they rested on little Cottontail Mother, where she stood with her children all around her, and he called her to come right up to the palace steps. So she took her 21 children and went up and stood before him. Can you see Mother Bunny standing there in a line with all her little boy and girl bunnies? Don't they look nice? And when he spoke, grandfather's voice was so kind that little Cottontail was not frightened at all. And he said, "What a large family you have, my dear. I suppose they take all of your time." But she said, "When they were babies, that was so. But now they are so well trained that they do most of the work for me." "Ah," he said, smiling, "you must be very wise to train so many children so well. But tell me, do they always look so happy? And do they always hold up their ears so prettily?" "Indeed they do," she answered. "We never have a tear or a cross word in our little country cottage. And if I do say it myself, they do carry their ears better than most bunnies." "Then," he said, patting the nearest bunny on the head, "you must be very kind indeed to have such a happy home. It is too bad that you have no time to run and grow swift, as I might then have made you my 5th Easter bunny." At that, Mother Cottontail started to laugh. Then she whispered to all the little bunnies, and every rabbit on the lawn looked to see what would happen, and the old grandfather leaned forward to watch. Suddenly, all her 21 children raced away. Can you see them all kind of racing out? I wonder what she's going to try to show here. Cottontail dashed after them, and in no time at all, she had them all back in front of her again, in front of the palace. There they are again, all lined up. Then the old, kind, wise grandfather bunny said, I see that you are swift also. It is too bad that you cannot go to carry my eggs, because you will have to stay at home to take care of your children." Mother Cottontail nodded her head to the little ones, and they all formed a line and bowed low to the grandfather. Then she stepped in front of them and said, "They will take better care of the house than I." Then she called them up 2 by 2, and as she put her hands on the heads of each pair, she said, "These are my sweepers. They keep the cottage as clean as your paw. These make the beds without a wrinkle. These cook my dinner. These wash the dishes. These tend the garden. These wash and dry all the clothes. These do the mending. These sing and dance to keep us merry while we work. These are learning to paint pretty pictures for our walls. And this littlest one of all always pulls out my chair for me when I sit to table. So you see, I can leave them to take care of the house until I come home." Then the old, kind, wise grandfather said, "You have proved yourself to be not only wise and kind and swift, but also very clever. Come to the palace tomorrow afternoon, for that is Easter Eve, and you shall be my 5th Easter bunny."